Chapter 6. Becoming the best you that you can be. Your atom of carbon is inside your DNA, inside a cell, inside a tiny wiggly worm about as long as a baby's finger, which feeds on particles from the ocean wafting in one end and being pushed out of the other. You are now at the start of a famous period of life on Earth, the Cambrian Explosion. This explosion is not like earlier ones, volcanoes or stars exploding. This is an explosion of life. In the next 500 million years, you will become the controller of the planet, an emperor among emperors, the designer and builder of your own destiny, acrobatic, skilled, clever. With your large brain inside your large head, you might eventually allow yourself to be a little big-headed and call yourself Homo sapiens, which is Latin for wise human. Right now, though, you are a worm, a simple gut, not human, certainly not wise. And you are in the middle of an explosion of life, remember. There are other zooids, worms, blobs, and wiggly weirdos trying to get to the food before you. As you floated towards your next meal, how could you be sure you were going to be the feeder and not the food? Hungry drifters floated around in the water with peculiar names: Windy Peaks, Otto the Boundless, Sydney's Surprise, Weird Warty Teeth, Elusive Fantasy, Peculiar Shrimp, and they all evolved clever ways to attack and swallow, dissolve or throttle you. You needed to find some tools and tricks, and fast. The main supply of these tricks came from bits of DNA that were given to you by various well-wishers and admirers. Here were the plans for how to make different kinds of cells, ones that could extract oxygen from water, or filter rubbish out of blood, or dismantle poisons. They became your gills, kidneys, and liver. A light spotter and a sound detector became your ears and eyes. Of course, all these cells had to be linked up to make plans and work together, but fortunately you had been given a recipe for squidgy cells. These stretched out around your bits, turning into neurons, and joined up to make a control room called a brain. You took on another of those twitchy molecule kits. These became muscles. Now you had the power and speed to get away from danger. But the real genius, game-changing evolutionary gift was the DNA for making a skeleton. Not only could the muscles hook onto a solid base and do some serious workouts, but all those organs had a place to hang and a cage to protect them. One last thing: teeth. 2 rows of scary-looking bones in your mouth allowed you to cut up your meal before you swallowed and made it easier to digest. Now you were complete. You were a fish. Hello, fish. But what was true for you was also true for all the other fish. They started competing for who could be the most efficient gripper, ripper, and chewer, who could develop the biggest, most frightening front end. The evolution of teeth and jaws was a great weapons race between all the fish in the ocean. Mouths that swallowed food whole, then chewed it up at the back of the throat. Teeth that were continuously replaced on a conveyor belt. Disjointed jaws that swallowed a whole shoal of fish in one gulp. Big teeth, little teeth. Life was cruel, red in tooth and claw. Yours was a fish-eat-fish world. Every now and then you escaped to the shallow waters near the shore. You must have been amazed looking out onto the dry land with forests and flowers and trees and millions of insects and no fish. A vision of heaven spotted from hell. Are you nearly here yet? If only you could get onto the land. Just a little dab of evolution could do it. Possibly.